Second Take Movies, a podcast where we give movies a second look, second chance, second take, if you will. I'm your host, Preston Jenkinson, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Jake Twito.
Yeah,
the height of Adam Sandler gibberish.
I think this is his first big boy movie. I mean, I know
It's one of the first.
He was in Coneheads.
Yeah, and he was in
Never
like a
seen
bit
it.
part.
There's a movie called Airheads I really want to watch.
That was his real first movie.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah. I mean, I say that. Last time I saw it, I was in the 7th grade. So
I need to watch. I mean, it's Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. Look, we're just talking to a white titty over here. Yeah. Buscemi, all that,
Yeah.
perfect castings of people. I don't know. I need to watch it, but yeah, today, everyone's favorite drunken basketball short wearing maniac.
This is probably my favorite Adam Sandler movie. I think I said that last week.
It is so far up there, dude.
It is one of the best.
I text Tyler Bradley right away because the amount of times him and I watched clips of this movie. Oh my god, dude! Like, I don't know. I watched this and I'm like, oh, that was my childhood. Jeez Louise. So it's the best.
The story of Billy Madison, in order to inherit his fed-up father's hotel empire, an immature and lazy man must repeat grades 1 through 12 all over again. Very simple premise.
Hey, let me give you a positive review. This is from me in middle school, where I had to write a fake, actually I can pull it up. I'm bullcrapping when I pull this up. I'm not going to read this whole essay. I had to write an essay of a film, and when I picked Billy Madison, I got a D because Billy Madison's not a real film.
That's what your teacher said?
Yeah, and I said, Billy Madison makes you feel good, makes my tummy feel rumbly with laughter.
It's a good time, but you know what? A lot of reviewers, they didn't like this one.
It's 95, and that's a weird...
Yeah.
I will say this movie I feel like changed comedy movies a lot. Where this slapstick bullcrap caught on.
A lot of the stuff that Adam Sandler is famous for is in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's dang near perfect.
Yeah.
I have a lot of... There's not a lot of things I can see wrong with this. Do you have a negative review, though?
I have 2, basically, because that's all there was.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, give me the company name first. Who are they writing for?
Brian Lowry. He wrote for Variety.
Yeah, Variety sucks. Why don't you guys go do more makeup reviews and stuff? I don't know.
Yeah. There are a few bursts of sheer irresistible idiocy along the lines of Wayne's World or even Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but enough to sustain the more arid stretches. But not enough to sustain the more arid stretches.
I heard that negative review is positive. Like, you're comparing it to Pee-wee. You're comparing, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
But they apparently didn't like it that much.
Yeah, well, Variety used to be a magazine, and now they're dead. So,
well, I mean, they're still around.
Oh, they're dead. Nah, no, I'm going so aggressive for my boy.
There is no author attached to this one. It's just the Austin Chronicle. They gave it a 0 on Metacritic.
Dang. All right.
A sorry excuse for a movie and director Davis and star Sandler should be very embarrassed.
Tamara Davis was the director of this.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first big movie that was directed. I looked it up. There was a lot more that she directed after this. She did Half Baked.
Okay.
If you've ever watched it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Crossroads.
Never seen
the
it.
The Britney Spears movie.
Never saw it.
You shouldn't. It's awful. Did a lot of TV with My Name is Earl, Everybody Hates Chris.
So she's done a lot of comedy.
And then
I love My Name Is Earl, by the way.
I think I really want to watch from start to finish because I feel like that was a perfect show.
It's a great show.
Yeah, it's up there. Sorry, my point being, and I started out saying like, oh, it's great. She's a music video producer, a director. No problem with that.
A lot of people start out. David Fincher came from music videos.
Dude, I don't care. She directed some of the Smiths. She directed Beastie Boys.
There you go.
Wow. Person that had the whole thing. But you know what? I realized, though, was Adam Sandler on SNL?
Yeah.
At the time? Well, it's the MTV connection, of all that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That review sucks. That's all I got to say. It's a fallen movie. It's the best.
It's the best. Begins with Sandler in a pool with his buddies. No, his buddies aren't there.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the pool.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead.
It's not even really a pool.
I'm going to go ahead and admit it to you. I saw Norm Macdonald and cried immediately.
I completely forgot he was in this movie.
I did too. And I saw him. I think he says one of the first lines. And it's like, God, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's
not in it a lot. But
when he's in it, he's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we see the happenings of the night before. They've partied and raged.
Night before, dude. I don't think it ever ended, man. I think they're day drinking to the day.
Yeah, and Sandler wakes up and does he see the penguin? Yeah, he sees the penguin.
They tell him it's Wednesday, and he's like, "Wednesday? What am I doing
it's
today?
Nudie Magazine Day."
Is Adam Sandler just Nixon, but younger?
I guess.
He's like, "What am I doing on Wednesday? It's Nudie Magazine Day.
Nudie Magazine Day."
How's that golf cart? I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm just a moron. That's why I like this. But him running over all the plants, the gardeners are there doing it. Oh, and those magazines, Preston. Those magazines.
The one he stops on is Drunk Girls.
But that's where you see the penguin for the first time. It's the greatest secondary character.
The penguin.
You're not welcome here. It's like, yep. All right, I'm in. Sold.
So he chases chases the penguin to the house and yells at somebody on his way. I
gotta tell you, little trivia. When Norm Macdonald's character is drunk, he's drunk in real life.
I believe it.
When Adam Sandler's drunk in this movie, he's drunk in real life.
Well, yeah, he could handle that. He was like 28 at the time, I guess, or 27 or however old he was.
Perfection. I mean,
chases it all the way to the house, and it's all right, Mr. Penguin. They treat you okay at the zoo.
It's so ridiculous. Like, Happy Gilmore, pretty straightforward. Like, there's not a lot of weird stuff. This
gets weird.
Weird. It is just a weird.
This is a Sandler that's like on his second movie, and he's like, "I'm
doing whatever I want.
Doing whatever I want. I get to make movies now." Of course, it's not he passes out in front of all his dad's colleagues, board members, whoever.
While they're walking into a meeting, they just step over him.
Yeah. And then the maid picks him up and gets him in.
That maid, dude.
She's hilarious.
My God. There are so many people I know that are exactly like that. Talk like her, everything. And it's like, man, I feel comfort here. This is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
But yeah. She
apart from the weird sexual advances.
Yeah, she's very horny. Tells him to go take a bath or a shower, and he gets in the bath and can't
fights a duck with shampoo.
Shampoo is better. No, conditioner is better.
I make your hair clean. I make my hair soft.
Go on silky smooth.
his stupid Adam Sandler's a lot like Jim Carrey. Some physically,
yeah,
physically of
yeah.
he made. God, man. Here's going to be this podcast for anyone listening. Let me just give you a little forewarning for the
Half
next.
of this is going to be us quoting this.
It's going to be me going, "Oh man, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah." That's it. That's all I'm going to say about this. So
yeah, I will again. It's not the highest of brow of entertainment,
but you were entertained.
Yes,
I've never met a person that's watched this and hasn't been entertained.
Yeah, I haven't met anyone that dislikes this movie.
Boy, I had a joke that you'd have to edit out. I'm getting better, Preston.
Good for you, buddy.
Yeah, getting better. So he doesn't sober up. I guess he just bathes.
Yeah,
and
stop looking at me, Swan.
His dad is having a dinner at his house with all his business people. Soup.
Here is where we meet
Eric
and the other guy.
God, who's the other guy? The other guy is so good.
He played. Only thing I remember him from. I've seen him a lot, but one thing I really remember him from was an episode of Seinfeld where they were creating the show Seinfeld within Seinfeld.
Yep.
And he was auditioning for Kramer.
Is it Darren McGavin? I think it's Darren McGavin.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Carl's his name.
Carl.
In the movie. Because
this movie rules, dude.
Yeah. Billy likes Carl, but he does not like
Eric at all.
Eric, yeah.
So his dad announces that he's gonna retire.
Mm-hmm.
This is straight up the TV show Succession. That's all it is.
Okay. Were they
Man,
managing hotels in that show?
Nope. I had a good joke coming from this, and I lost it because my brain's fried. But
what is the business in Succession?
They run a media empire and news.
Makes sense.
So they control the news.
Okay, so it's a take on Rupert Murdoch then.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
Have you watched any of that show?
I have not. No.
If you need, it's funny. I think it's hilarious. It takes a little bit to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
The writing is some of the best I've ever seen. I mean, it is so
Brian
good.
Cox, I like anything he's in.
Yeah. Brian Cox. When Brian Cox, you sent me the article, which, for anyone listening, Brian Cox is an angry man. And him angry is great. It's hilarious.
It gets good. And whoever was interviewing him knew what questions to ask because he went off.
God, yeah, that's all I kept thinking. Dude, the interviewer hit a grand slam. They better be getting a huge bonus, whatever else, because they nailed it.
Yeah.
So he's announced he's going to do the company. Billy's a huge failure.
Yeah.
He promises it to Eric right away, doesn't he?
Yeah, he wants to give it to Eric.
He'd prefer to give it to Billy, but Billy's not capable.
Billy's wasted his life, and
we also figure out that his dad has paid off every teacher he's ever had.
He never really. he technically graduated, but he never passed anything in school because his dad just paid off everybody. Which somehow they kind of circumvent that in this show with, this series of events by that never coming up.
Nope.
No one ever finds that out, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, that, and I think that's the point. There's so many small little tongue-in-cheek things here too, where I'm like, this movie's not just some goofy, stupid thing. It's smart. It either accidentally. Which I think it's accidentally.
Probably accidentally smart.
Adam Sandler co-wrote the script.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler ad-libbed 80% of it.
Yeah.
On a script he wrote.
Adam Sandler. It was probably just a story outline. We just need to get to here.
Look at Curb Your Enthusiasm. There's no
Yeah.
script.
Yeah.
Do you watch Curb any?
I haven't. No, I haven't seen any of that.
Oh, dude, yeah. I need to. It ended. Billy Madison is gonna
So,
go. He makes a plea with his dad. I'll go back to school. I'll do all my years, 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Um, Probably the most rewatched scene for me. Adam Sandler dancing down the daggum steps. This is when I knew watching this time, and I've watched it so many times, but this is where this movie's apart. There's a random musical number he dances to. Like, this is ludicrous.
That Billy Madison himself hears for no reason.
Loved it. I was like, this is perfect, dude.
Yeah.
This is it.
So he gets ready to go to school. Has an argument with the housekeeper. He wants the snack pack.
Snack pack.
I thought I was your snack pack. Oh,
gross! Boy walks out to the road, got a little song. Back to school, back to school.
To prove to Daddy that I'm not a fool. I got my boots, my lunch packed up, my boots tied tight. I hope I don't get into a fight.
I'm well aware Adam Sandler's made some bad movies.
Oh, yeah. Terrible.
But still,
this ain't one of them.
You watch this. I mean, you watch this. We've done Happy Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing Waterboy?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm really curious of, like, if there's a younger person, like my nephew, if he watched these, how would he feel? I feel like he'd love it.
Yeah,
but I feel like the comedy in this sticks.
It's built for the sensibilities of like a 10, 11, 12-year-old.
Oh, so good. But the humor of there's an adult standing by the road with a lunchbox. Yeah, the bus isn't going to stop for him.
The bus just like blows by him. Like, you know. And
Dad drives him to school and he gives the thank you, Daddy.
Thank you, Daddy. And he starts in kindergarten.
Starts in kindergarten with a paste-eating hippie.
I mean, I hate to question the logic of an Adam Sandler movie, but wouldn't we just start in the first grade?
No way, bro. Hey, I learned so much in 4K, I didn't poop my pants anymore. That's not true. I poop my pants like crazy. Look, I'm going to give you a little history. Don't edit this out. Let me embarrass myself.
Okay.
In third grade, I found out that I'm not lactose intolerant. My dad is. But I found out later I'm allergic to milk proteins, or milk protein something.
Oh.
Dude, I crap my pants like 9, 12, 13 times in third grade. So I don't know what I'm trying to prove with this comment, but hey man, if you poop your pants, you're cool. Miss Slippy. Is it Miss Slippy or Miss Lippy?
I think it's Miss Lippy.
Okay. I hear Slippy, but
I think you're hearing the miss at the end of miss. The S at the end of miss.
God, dude, that woman, that's the perfect kindergartner teacher. I know so many people that are friends of mine that are kindergartner teachers now, and that's them all the way.
Just so gentle and kind and
hey everybody, this is our new friend Billy. Everyone hugs him, and you.
Billy, this is your time, and this is Miss Lippy's time.
Really importantly, we need to make sure we two things. I'm looking at my notes. Billy's dad was supposed to be Charles Bronson.
Oh God, that would have been awesome.
It would have been hilarious. I mean, wouldn't have been as funny as probably the real. No, that'd have been perfect. The other thing is dang it, my notes. I hand wrote these and I can't even read them. So I can tell where I'm laughing and writing at the same time. So that doesn't work out really well. You get a Doyle. The greatest part of this is a Doyle. You get the first Doyle boy.
A Doyle rules.
God, man, is
there one in the kindergarten class?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, mister. No, that's another kid. The kid that goes, mister, I had beans last night. And does the arm farts. There's another kid that makes fun of him. And a Doyle Wolf. You quickly find out that, hey, how to entertain kindergartners. Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Probably one of the greatest things I've ever watched is Adam Sandler beaming these kids, which the fact of the matter is Adam Sandler really did throw those dodgeballs as hard as he humanly could at these kids. The parents did not read what was happening and they signed off on it.
Oh.
And Adam Sandler apparently is like, it says I'm going to be hitting you kids with dodgeballs. Like, in that voice, did it beat the fire out of these kids. Like when they're crying in this, dude, these kids are crying.
Well, that's like when Peyton Manning had that sketch on Saturday Night Live where he's throwing footballs at kids in a United Way kind of commercial. I feel like he was hitting those kids too.
Oh yeah. I looked it up because I know there's an interview. At this point, I was curious. So I looked it up, but Adam Sandler says this is the closest he's ever been to be a character that's just him.
I believe it.
Makes
sense.
Perfect.
That makes sense.
All right, great.
Yeah. So he eventually moves on from kindergarten, first, second grade,
Not much really happens. It was hard from him
probably
bashing the girl at the spelling bee.
Yeah. Just
but
like
also
embarrassing a little girl in the best
every 2 weeks that he graduates, his dad throws a
he
$1 million
gets a huge party. Yes. And at the kindergarten one, the clown falls over, cracks his head open.
Blood.
That comes
everywhere.
up later, but
but I think I think this movie started so much, especially you and I, like a lot of our comedy movies, stupid comedy movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's this one little teeny thing that happens. It pops up later. And if you didn't catch it, you're going to be like, what's going on here? Those party scenes are the funniest things in the world, though, man. It's so ridiculous.
It's like everybody's laughing hysterically at this clown that's cracked his head open and is bleeding all over the sidewalk. It's great. Gets to third grade and
Veronica Mars.
And she's Veronica Vaughn.
Veronica Mars is something else.
Yeah, that's Kristen Bell.
Veronica Vaughn. Where have you seen her before, Preston?
That is Sona Blade from Mortal Kombat.
Never realized it until Monday night. I almost had a heart attack realizing, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
The most recent Mortal Kombat, me and my neighbor Bobby, covered that on a previous episode of this podcast. So go find that one.
You didn't do the OG one, did you?
Have not, no.
Yeah, I'm just saying when the third, the sequel to that one comes out.
There's a sequel coming. I told Bobby, I was like, we're going to do either the original one or the sequel when that's coming. So
all the above, dude. That was a good episode. I listened to that one. That was good. If you like podcasts, you like movies, make sure you check out this podcast and all the
one you're listening to and all the. Let's see.
So he's going to third grade. Yeah. He meets the most likable person in the world, Eddie.
God, Eddie's the best friend. Yeah.
Dude, Ernie, not Eddie.
Yeah,
Ernie's. I always thought it was Eddie. I have a friend named Eddie that's like him, but Ernie's the best.
Ernie's that kid at school. He doesn't try to be cool. He doesn't try to. He's just Ernie.
Kids just showing up and doing school.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's all he's got to do. You can be friends with him. He don't care.
Nope.
You cannot be friends with him. He don't care. But you want to be friends with him because he Ernie.
Dude, I freaking like that whole third grade intro scene. Like, little insight into me. I moved when I was younger, and it wrecked my world. Like, it was wild. But I remember being in fourth grade and looking at people and being like, "Hey, I heard fourth grade's like this." What? And then no one responded. Then I looked at the other person. Adam Sandler does the same thing. Tell some kid, "Hey, I heard third grade's terrible. Multiplication, man. What do you think?" Kid doesn't listen to him. He's like, looks at Ernie, click. Boy talks to him, you're best friends.
Mm.
But good old Veronica comes in, and it's a
She
jackpot.
she is not. She don't
She's
like
not
him.
on board.
No. She takes every
But
moment she can to embarrass him.
don't worry, you get one of the greatest quotable scenes ever is poor little boy with the stutter reading.
Today, Junior.
Today. Yeah, she does not like him, man. Drags him out by the ear, which it's kind of fun. Like, this is the voice of reason in this movie. Like you said, no one questions anything. All of a sudden, there's this woman who does. No one else after her does either, by the way.
She is the one teacher that's not having it. I'm sure the rest of them were like, let's just get this weirdo out of here as quick as we can.
I read a huge fan theory that his dad paid a lot of money for all of them to do this.
Oh, yeah, that would be the only way.
Which then it goes back on a loop of, but he just paid them to do this. What's that proven?
Right. Just he donated a bunch of money to let him come back to school and for a couple weeks in each grade and try to pass.
And with each grade too, sorry, I should have mentioned Eric. We go flashback to Eric on everything. He's got a board where he's moving them up. He's getting angrier and angrier. Eric was supposed to be Bob Odenkirk.
Is that the principal?
No, that's the villain.
Oh.
It was supposed to be Bob Odenkirk, and Universal Studios said, we can't give you an excuse just to give all your friends jobs to hang out with. So they turned down Bob Odenkirk.
Well, shit, they do now.
Yeah. Y'all messed up, son.
Studios do nowadays. They let Adam Sandler do what he wants.
And that dude did perfect, too.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's great. Last thing I saw him in was Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
I forgot he was in it.
Yeah, he's the gray-haired guy with eagles.
Crazy guy.
With glasses.
Here's the other wild one.
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman auditioned for that role.
What? I don't understand Philip Seymour Hoffman's career. He can do a Twister and then go and do a Truman Capote. I mean, they were years apart, but also a Mission Impossible movie, and then do all this highbrow great stuff. But we'll also do I mean, this was probably early in his career, but we'll also try to do a Billy Madison.
To save him, not save him, but so apparently he auditioned. Sandler saw the tape and said, "This is the funniest thing I've ever seen." They offered it to him, and he changed his mind.
Oh.
So Sandler called him and said, personally called him and said, "Hey, why did you decline?" And Hoffman said, "I just don't want to do it now." Okay. Yep.
But he went and did Twister the next year.
Yeah.
Which he's great in that movie.
Yeah, he is.
Awesome.
Oh, God. Veronica Vaughn. Anyways.
That's so third grade, as he does.
Yeah. Third grade. They're going on a field trip at this point.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He goes on the field trip.
God bless. You get daggum Chris Farley.
Why wasn't he given more to do in this movie?
Why couldn't you give more to him? God,
you have Chris Farley. What are we doing?
Dude, Chris Farley, the story, and I think it's true. I don't think it's rumor. Chris Farley has a red face most of these scenes, out of anger. The rumor is before every scene, he'd chug an entire cup of espresso.
God.
And that's something he did in every movie. Period. Weird guy, but God, dude, some of the funniest
dude on the planet.
Could you imagine if he didn't pill out? How I don't know, man. I wish I knew what other stuff would happen.
He would have been Shrek.
Yeah, that's the best. Well, yeah, I'd prefer him as Shrek. I mean, have you ever seen those videos with some of his auditions?
Mm-mm.
I think they're on YouTube. They were on YouTube. They were getting taken down some. It's wild. It's wild to hear Chris Farley being Shrek. Just perfect.
So he goes through all the other grades,
Oh, hold up, boy! You got to pee your pants first because
I
that field
forgot.
trip
We're
is
on
the
the field trip.
money.
We're on the field trip. I forgot. Yeah.
Veronica starts to really fall for him because poor Ernie pees his pants.
Peed his little pants.
Sandler splashes his pants with the well water, and you're only cool if you pee your pants. Oh man, God, I just want to watch this movie again. I don't even want to talk to you anymore. I just want to watch the movie. Put it on right now. Let's just be quiet and let it play. So if Veronica and him are tight now, they're cool. At the next little party, they get pretty close, which they're the stupidest. This is Adam Sandler to the T of he's flirting with her and he goes, she's like, oh, what would you want to do? And he's like, I could think of 3 things I'd like to do. I need some ice cubes and a 7-iron. I can't remember the second one is. The third one is, and I'll get those same ice cubes and a putter. So they're going to go make out, and Frank pops in. Billy, Eric's trying to take you down. He's got people on the inside. There we go. Done. So he keeps going through the ranks. I don't think he gets to high school. He gets to ninth grade.
They kind of fast forward through everything else, and he gets to high school.
Dude, that scene of him pulling up to high school in a Thunderbird, dressed like the 80s. I'm from Pickens, so I went to high school in Pickens. I feel like Pickens is a little slow, a little behind. That's pretty much what Pickens was still. That. It strikes.
After this, he's been out of high school for 10 years at this point, so he's a little behind it.
Which is kind of honest of him. I think he's 27.
27, 28, yeah.
Like, that's ideal. Like, he's legitimately that person at this point. He gets made fun of straight away.
Yeah, because what he thinks was cool when he was in high school no longer is. You're just a weirdo.
Which is a hilarious commentary on, like, the 80s versus the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's grunge in that high school.
Oh, yeah.
Except for Doyle, who still is his
Doyle
family
rules.
Even better. Even better. But you also get the response here of, Doyle, I think some bad things are coming towards you pretty soon.
Oh, and speaking of that, on the way back from the field trip, if we can rewind back to third grade, Chris Farley throws a banana peel out the window, and
which is seemingly the most stupid thing to put in a movie.
Yeah,
why would you show this? Boy, it pays off, son. Just like the clown breaking his skull, it pays off.
And during his high school stint, he's having lunch with the third graders still, and it's one of my favorite parts. It's nonsense, but the Sloppy Joe lunch lady. I know how you like some sloppy. I could smell that scene.
Perfect of Sandler's history with Sloppy Joes and everything else. Like,
I can guarantee you that woman smelled like cigarettes and alcohol.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I could smell it.
To be clear, it's Jack Daniels. So at this point in the movie, I got really curious watching it, and I was like, all right, Dumb and Dumber came out around here. I think 96. No, 94. It came out before this.
Okay.
But, I mean, like, they've been filming at the same time. Movies took forever to make them. Jeff Daniels was asked to play Eric Gordon, the villain, too.
Okay.
After Philip Seymour Hoffman auditioned. New Line Cinema, Universal wanted to hire him, so New Line Cinema couldn't have him.
Damn.
And he did Dumb and Dumber instead.
That's petty as hell, but...
I get it. Well, I wouldn't, whatever. Yeah. But it's funny. I mean, Dumb and Dumber is way more successful in this movie, long term.
At one of the graduation parties, the principal used to be a wrestler called the Amazing Blob or something like that.
It's the Revolting Blob.
The Revolting Blob. And Eric...
He accidentally killed a man in the ring.
Yeah, discovered that he killed a guy in a ring back in the 80s and is blackmailing him. to tell people that he took money to pass Billy Madison through all this, and that kind of ends the whole thing. For Billy, at least he thinks it does. So he starts getting drunk again and
put some poo on someone's front porch.
Come on, baby.
He goes to Veronica's house.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what's going on here.
Proceed. goes to her house and sees the penguin that from the beginning, and
she was
doing
blubbering
up. Basically, she tells him, "Get your shit together, my guy."
Yeah, which goes into the greatest musical montage randomly of Veronica, I thank
you for beating the shit out of me.
My favorite thing is all of a sudden there's this chubby kid with a rat tail.
Yeah.
That kid's my hero.
He's from the 3rd grade class, I think.
Yeah. The 3rd graders all sing with him. But the clown comes back of,
hey, kids, you thought that I was dead.
But then I woke up with the hemorrhage in my head. And guess what? It has no relevance any more than that. They did. I mean, like,
they just planted that seed to have a joke that showed up like at the end of the movie for no reason other than it's funny. And they end the song with, do you have any more gum?
We're so stupid. The other thing that I was like, you know what? Like, I got curious of comedy movies, like big comedy movies that are stupid. I was like, Airplane.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out Leslie Nielsen got offered Billy Madison's dad. And he said, I'm turning this down because I don't like the humor of these films.
Well, if you kind of think about it, a lot of those movies he did were like kind of pun related.
Yeah.
And they were like real quick, and he had perfect delivery of like just this dry.
Oh yeah. It's
it's different
character.
Yeah. But he went and did a scary movie in the 2000s, so I don't understand.
Yeah.
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 But sensibilities change.
So he's decided, hey, I'm going to challenge Eric. Or actually, the kids go and pressure the principal to tell the truth.
Yes, and so he takes
Why
back
did you
the statement.
do this?
Yeah. Which is kind of weird. Like, all those, like, where are the parents?
That's actually an exact line of my notes here is where are the parents. There's
How do they know where are
the parents?
How do they know where their principal lives? That's not good. That's not good. It's just not.
So anyways, before I have to make you edit stuff, the he gets on the news and recalls what he said and admits he's the revolting blob.
Mm-hmm.
To which point, and we've glossed over one important thing. Billy at this point, when he's in high school, he's getting picked on. Veronica says, you probably mistreated people too. So he's calling up all the people he's hurt. Steve Buscemi, the hero of the movie. What a weirdo, dude.
He calls Steve Buscemi, says, I'm sorry. Steve Buscemi hangs up and crosses his name off of a kill list.
With lipstick, and then puts it on his
puts lipstick on and then lays on his bed or couch or whatever. It's like, okay, this is another stupid setup for something that's coming.
We hope. Well, but it does. It does. It does in the end. But it's like, what in the world? So Billy tells his dad he wants to have a decathlon.
Yeah.
Of everything you learn in your 12 years of primary schools. And challenges Eric to it. And guess what? They do. They kind of go back and forth. It's hilarious. Just Sandler doing Shakespeare's perfect. It's so good. Just the whole decathlon thing is so stupid. You also get Chris Farley back stripping.
Yeah. Did need that.
It all culminates to a Jeopardy-style academic test. Test. Whatever.
Yeah.
Which Billy gives the greatest response about the ugly duckling or whatever from his kindergarten story. That dude's response is one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
And
we are dumber for hearing that.
In celebration of this movie, I have the soundbite ready to go.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That became one of my favorite things to tell people. Especially the ending, just may God have mercy on your soul.
It's used everywhere.
That's probably one of the best written jokes of this entire movie.
Yeah.
We've also forgotten here, I think during this, we see it during the decathlon, the banana in the road.
Yes.
The Doyle family is driving somewhere and they're yelling how they're the best.
Oh, Doyle rule.
Doyle rules, while just like playing Mario Kart 64, that banana will be dangerous.
Yep, and they slip off and they all die.
Off the cliff and die.
Just a lot of setup and jokes in this movie that have nothing to do with the story.
It's perfect.
So Eric loses, of course.
Well, the best is like they go back and forth, and Adam Sandler picks business ethics, and Eric can't deal with it. Like, talk about the dumbest setup, and he has a revolver with him.
Yeah.
Which Max, in wrestling gear, tackles him.
Yeah. Full revolting blob makeup. The host is done with it. Whoever that host was, he's just like, I can't.
Done. Don't worry, Eric gets back up and tries to shoot Veronica. Then some creep in the back with a rifle shoots him in the butt. And it's
Steve
Danny
Buscemi.
McGrath.
Ugh.
The wave. He waves at Billy, and it is the funniest. Just that stupid like parade giggle wave.
And from there, Billy graduates.
His dad gives him the company.
Yeah, and then he turns it down and says, I want to be a teacher.
Yep. I'm going to give it to Frank instead. No, not Frank.
Carl.
Carl. Thank you. I've said Frank the whole time.
Yeah.
Frank is Norm Macdonald.
And then it ends with the weirdest montage of like the penguin and the bus driver making out. And it's just a quick jack off joke at the end of the movie. Steve Buscemi and the maid. It's just it's weird. But that's Billy Madison.
Weird.
It's funny. It's hilarious and weird.
9-3, baby.
It's a 9.5, buddy.
One of the best movies I think I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is up there. You cannot do better. This is not sadly. I actually think this is peak Sandler.
Yes. This is like Sandler on the come up. Like it's like, yes, he's arrived.
I don't think it's his best movie.
No, it's not his best movie.
Sandler. Yeah.
It's my favorite, but it's not his best movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I fully think Uncut Gems is the best movie he's ever done.
Well, when I say Sandler movie, I'm more of like the comedies that he's written.
Okay, yeah, the Sandler's This Is It.
When I talk about an Adam Sandler movie, I'm not talking about like a Spanglish or Uncut Gems or
no. This is the best. This is Top Daddy. I mean, Waterboy's up there too. Which spoiler alert, next week is Waterboy.
Yes.
So everybody get hydrated.
Another quotable
terrible
movie.
Accent. That was so bad.
Now we move on to what we've been watching, reading, looking at, playing.
I finished Fallout, and Fallout. I check with my wife constantly because like I'm a huge fan of the games. There's so much small crap that they did right where I'm like, this is from that game, this is from that. Where I'm like, do I like this or is it just because that? Probably one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. I mean, it's got the same feeling as Westworld, but it's fun.
Yeah. That's what a review that I read said, like, they made the apocalypse fun.
In which the modern games, I think you got 4, it's kind of how it is.
And I remembered why I'd never continued to play it. There's too much building and crafting and talking to characters that are...
Yeah, there's a ton of that.
And I'm like, okay, I remember why I never continued playing this game, but it was $5.
Other than that, that's probably it, man.
Yeah.
Chugging that Fallout.
Shogun's wrapping up.
Yeah, I'm
Catching
excited.
up on that.
I'm excited for it to wrap up, and then I'm gonna pick it up.
X-Men 97 as usual. I think that's close to wrapping up, maybe.
Ooh, that's what I forgot to do today. I have not watched today, so
I watched some of it before we started.
We've both seen the new Deadpool Wolverine trailer at this point.
Oh my gosh, dude!
I'm looking forward to it, man.
That's
gonna be so good.
Gonna be the movie of the year. I guarantee it.
I'm so tired of superhero movies, and I think this is really gonna put a shift.
Yeah, this is the only one I'm gonna see in the theaters in the last 2 years.
I'm so pumped, man.
I think after this, I won't see any more in the theater.
I don't think I will either. I think I'm kind of done with it.
I kind of made like a halfway resolution to like see movies that aren't superhero movies and like not everybody is gonna go see.
Yeah. Which, you're gonna have to help me. You've done this for the past 2 weeks. Ungentlemanly Warfare
came out last Friday.
You seen the box office from that?
Mm-mm.
I think it was like $4 million.
Really?
Yeah, it cost 60 mil.
Even with Henry Cavill and Guy Ritchie and all that, and it went.
Yeah, and this was a quick headline I read.
Depressing. So I really need to go see it Friday then.
It made 9.9 so far at the box office.
That's sad.
It looks fantastic. I had no idea that it's the story of Ian Fleming.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I saw an interview and went, ooh, this got a lot more exciting just now.
It's related to a lot of what he did and what Christopher Lee did during World War II.
Yeah.
If you ever watch any behind-the-scenes stuff of Lord of the Rings, it's like most of the cast just telling stories about Christopher Lee telling stories. He's like, when you stab a man in the back, he doesn't make a noise. How do you know that? Well,
one of the best lines I ever heard come from that movie.
All right, we'll take your word for it.
Yeah. He doesn't make a noise. Peter. Anyway. I just love whoever said, how do you know that? And he said, because I've stabbed a man.
All right, cool.
Oh, interesting.
And there's theories that James Bond is based off of Christopher Lee.
Yeah, Christopher Lee. There was another guy that died. The guy, I don't know if this is his real name. It's Gus March Phillips in the movie. Yeah. It's Henry Cavill's character died. And apparently he had written James Bond, and Ian Fleming took it, added his own stuff. But who knows?
A movie that surprised me that I thought was going to be terrible was Argyle.
Yeah, I need to watch it. You said it's good.
Pretty entertaining. It's not the best, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad as everyone was saying it was. I feel like
I might actually watch it tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's it for this week. Next week we're doing Waterboy.
Yeah. Also, look for anyone keeping score, we actually enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Look how long this episode is.
Yeah.
So if you've got other movies you want us to watch or anything else, send them in.
Right.
And if it's not over 45 minutes, your movie sucks.
Yeah.
So,
and you can send that to secondtakemoviespod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram @secondtakemovies. For Jake, I'll say we'll see you next week. You got any words of wisdom to leave them with?
No, not this week. There's no pants crapping.
Pants crapping.
Yeah, don't wipe.
Okay. So we'll see you next week with The Water Boy.